This is Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 20. Therefore hear the counsel of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall. At the cry of the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. Behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle, and spread his wings over Basra. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty man of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pangs. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and blessings be multiplied on all you brethren, teaching his word in all sincerity and in truth. I'm the brother Damar Gabar, here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahushai. All right, and this is the scripture we bring out all the time, dealing with that whole situation with, Iran and the so-called small hats over there in the, the so-called Israeli state, which is going to what? Is going to cause Esau, Edom, which, those small hats are Edomites as well. Ashkenazi, JOOs, they all go back to Esau, Edom. All right. And over here in Babylon, the Great, America, they're all a bunch of Edomites too. But the main point is that, the least of the flock, which is those small hats over there in Asia, what they call the Middle East, is going to eventually draw out America into that war with Iran, which is going to lead to Russia getting involved, China getting involved, and all these major superpowers getting involved to bring in this Third World War, which is known as Harmageddon in the Holy Bible. All right, where those mountains of troops will be gathered and this Third World War will be fought. And, these nations and their armies will be judged and broken by our Lord and Savior Yahushai in the midst of that. But the main point of this video is that, hey, prophecy is still moving. All right, this prophecy is getting ready to be fulfilled. And as you see the situation over there with Iran and Israel, also now you see Babylon the Great, America, getting more involved in the talks. They're sending ambassadors over there. They're threatening Iran. They're basically, setting the stage to eventually go to war with them and lead them into, back them into a corner to where, they're going to be forced to retaliate. They're going to be forced to respond. And it's going to lead to what? Israel being, hit, Israel being affected in such a way that is going to draw out Babylon the Great, America, into that Third World War, and it's going to lead to this. It's going to lead to this war. It's inevitable. It's going to happen, ultimately, because it's prophetic. All right. And I was listening to this video by Jimmy Dore. Free speech. I mean, not free speech. What do you call it? Fuck, I can't think of the term, man. Fair use. I'm not monetizing this video. I'm not making any money or profits. I'm just using this for educational and informative purposes. All right. But I'm going to play about 5 minutes of this video, and it's all right there, right in front of you, man. And this further proves that Esau, Edom, is the so-called white man. Because what is the blessing of Esau that he received from his father was that by his sword shall he live. All right. And this guy, Trump, like I see, it's perfect. See, look, this is all major players right here. The least of the flock is Benjamin Netanyahu on the left. All right. Esau, Edom, Babylon represents Donald Trump, and Iran represent, and right there on the right is Iran. 3 major figures in biblical prophecy right here on the thumbnail of this video, which I just read in that Jeremiah, the 49th chapter. All right. The least of the flock represent the small hats. That who are they going to draw into this battle is Babylon the Great, America, and Trump and the American army against who? The Iranians. So let's listen to this. I got some more precepts and I'm going to close it out. So, hey, man, like I said, hey, the war is on, and this war is not going to de-escalate. There's not going to be any negotiations or anything that's going to stop this prophecy from going forward and being fulfilled. And it's getting hot, and it's getting to the point of no return. So here we go.
By that time, we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, are we still going to war with Iraq? And he said, oh, it's worse than that. He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper. He said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today. And he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran.
The war with Iran is coming. And not only because of this, I've showed you this before, but they've been planning this since before 9/11. They've been planning all the wars they did. They've done like Libya, Afghanistan, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq. So here it is. Watch this. This is General Wesley Clark, and right after 9/11. He got the 411 on the plan they had already cooked up before 9/11 that they were going to use 9/11 as the excuse to go do, and we only have one country left. Here it is.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me, and one of the generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, No. He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess."
See, and this further shows you that, there's a hierarchy of rulership inside of Esau, Edom's, beyond the president and all these other government officials. Here it is. This guy's a high ranking guy, and he had no idea that they were going to go to war. Well, who's making those decisions? Who's, calling those shots? You see, because there's these elites are the ones that truly run this society and that run this world and that run, the American, America, point blank period, man. It's these elites, it's these higher ups. They're the ones that make these decisions that even these high ranking officials, can't stop or can't delay, or sometimes they don't even have knowledge of it. It just comes down the pipe and they have to execute and go along with it.
They don't know what else to do. So,
hey, remember when we went to war with Iraq and Iran won? You remember that? Okay.
I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with."
See, who's this today? They just decided we're going to go to war. You see, and ultimately, the ultimate judge is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. We know that, controlling Esau through the left-hand side, because this is how prophecy gets fulfilled. You see, the Lord is controls the minds of these kings, and he moveth it whithersoever he will. You see, so nothing can upset prophecy. Nothing can stop the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai from being done. We're just privy to it, and we're the prophets that's, been given the ability, starting with the elders and the apostles, to see these things, to link them to scripture, and to prophesy them openly.
Iraq, he said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments." And he said, "I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail."
That's actually not the reason. He's going to tell you the real reason.
So I came back to see him a few weeks later. And by that time, we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper. He said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today. And he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran."
You see? And that says this Jeremiah, the 49th chapter. This is the time that we're entering into. You see, the least of the flock, those small hats, they're being used to ultimately to, they're going to be used as a reason of why America will be justified in going into war with Iran. But remember, when you read Ezekiel 38 chapter, Russia is going to get involved. That bear, that guard until Iran is going to have to step in eventually. And they're going to lock horns with America, with Israel, with all the allies, China, the BRICS nations, and America and a few allies that they have. And it's going to lead to what? The earth being moved at the fall of Esau, Edom. It's going to lead to the so-called white man and America and Israel, and these other superpowers from being judged, and it's going to lead to what? This thermonuclear war. Let me get that real fast. This is Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. It says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood." You see, but this new warfare, but it says, "But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." It's going to lead to these thermonuclear missiles being used, man. You see, and this is all the will and the counsel of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. This third world's war is inevitable. It's coming, and it's coming quickly. Nothing is going to stop it. Iran is never going to back down, man. You know, scriptures tell you how they're that wild boar. It tells you how, was that Ishmael? He's a wild man. You know, his hand is going to always be at war with his enemies, you know. And see, this is all prophetically coming into to place, man. So let's play some more.
Been involved in an accident that wasn't your fault?
Yes? You're sitting on a massive payout and don't even know it.
Compare your case to 50,000 other successful cases using AI. Find out exactly how much you're really owed.
There we go. Salaki.
So the last one on the list is Iran. And that's the one that Benjamin Netanyahu is going to get us into that war by hook or by crook. And I'm going to show you some more.
You see, that's the least of the flock. Those Netanyahu, those small hats, they're gonna do something. Like I said, I can't tell you exactly what they're gonna do, but we know it's gonna lead to Babylon the Great, America getting involved. And the way that Trump is moving, well, he's gonna say it. They're basically leaving. They're going to back Iran into a corner, and they're going to eventually force them into being attacked. Remember, Trump said that, if they don't adhere to these negotiations, they're going to be, annihilated pretty much. And that's all part of the working of the devil. They're going to try to twist it and make it seem as if, Iran didn't want to apply. They didn't want to take the deal. They didn't want to, denuclearize. We told them they couldn't have nuclear weapons, but meanwhile, everybody else can have nuclear weapons, but Iran can't have nuclear weapons. And that's going to be ultimately one of the reasons why, shit is going to pop off. Let's keep going.
Information right now that shows that that's almost inevitable.
Wait, Jimmy, it sounds the way he said it. It sounds almost like they needed a terror attack to happen.
It's almost like
they always need terrorists, and they never.
Right, and that's something that's within Esau's power, is that he uses his media, he uses lies, manipulation, witchcraft, sorcery, and to control narratives to where he could, he can just make up stories to where he can make you be the enemy. He can make you be the aggressor. He can make it spin it to where he's where he's being attacked, and he needs to be and that he's under attack. He's trying to be the peacemaker. He's trying to be the negotiator, but all while behind closed doors, he's the main one manipulating. He's the aggressor. He's the tempter. He's the one that's causing situations to happen so he can be justified in destroying his enemies, man.
Want them to go away.
That's why we invented Al Qaeda. And I'm not making that up. Hillary Clinton is the one who said that we invented Al Qaeda. We know why? Because we did. And now Al Qaeda is running Syria for us. We were working with Al Qaeda in Syria. And now the head of Al Qaeda is now the head of Syria. And he doesn't wear it.
And you're watching that. Any moment that the West wants, they could totally flip. Now Syria was always an enemy. Syria was this, Syria is that. Now all of a sudden Syria is our friend. Now they're an ally. Hey, and at any moment that Esau wants to flip the narrative, he can turn that puppet that they put in power in Syria to all of a sudden become an enemy of the West, so they can be justified in doing whatever other wickedness and whatever other bullshit they want to do. This man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Let's go.
Jihad costume anymore, and he wears a blue suit, and he doesn't call himself Jelani anymore. He calls himself I'm not a terrorist. And
that's a nice thank you for your service, ain't it?
Isn't it? Yeah. America decides wars well in advance, just so you know, because it's like a Christmas list. Just get them out of the way. And so here's the first proof that the United States is setting up this negotiation with Iran so that Iran cannot come to a reasonable treaty with us over their nuclear program. This is Witkoff. That's
right, because Iran been said that, and they even during the Barack Obama administration, they've been said that, look, we they had all those people go and test their uranium, see what they were doing, seeing if they were creating bombs, and every time they went, they said what they were doing. They weren't they were trying to use enriching their uranium to use it for other things besides making a nuclear weapon. And another thing, if Iran needs nuclear weapons, they can just get it from fucking Russia. You see, but them trying to use uranium to enrich it for whatever other business they want, that's going to be the reason why they're going to be justified in ultimately destroying Iran. And now Trump is saying, look, you can't enrich uranium, not even 1%. Well, what if they need it for things that are not nuclear based? or for weapons base, or for nuclear weapons base. If they're doing it for any other thing, that if they enriching uranium for any purpose to 1%, now Trump is making it in the deal to where they're going to be justified and coming at them, man. And they might use those small hats to do it. So, and we know Iran is not going to back down. Iran is not some just weak, third world country that doesn't have a strong military, that doesn't have a history of being warriors and fighting. And they're not going to back down, man. And it's going to eventually lead to, this third world war breaking out. So let's check this out.
Donald Trump's negotiator with Iran. And here, watch what he says.
Well, the president has been very clear. He wants to solve this conflict diplomatically and with dialogue. And
you see, that's how the devil works. See, let me get this real fast, man. Hey, man, this damn devil. Hey, the Lord got Esau pegged, man. Got this devil pegged. This is Psalms chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords, you see? And that's how this devil operates. Oh, we want to negotiate. No, they don't. You see, they talk like that to make it seem as if they're trying to be peacemakers, like they're trying to work out a deal. But really, they're going to use these they're going to set a negotiation to where it's just going to be utterly ridiculous. And they know that Iran is not going to accept it. So therefore, they're going to be justified in bringing the pain, allowing, war to break through in that country. So this man is completely the damn devil, man. And we see exactly how he's operating, This is why you can't be ignorant to Satan's devices. We see how this devil operates, man. And this is what further proves that the so-called white man is Esau, Edom. Because what does it say? By his sword shall he live. This devil weaponizes even his words are weapons, man. Let's watch.
That's what they say. That's what Trump says. That's what he's saying. They want to settle this with Iran. By the way, I didn't know we had a problem with Iran. I don't have a problem with Iran. Iran never attacked us, never invaded us, ain't never going to...
Right, you see? They never invaded them. They never attacked them. But then, see, through this media, this devil was able to make anybody he wants to be his enemy.
Fight it out with them if they want to so bad. What's the problem? Ain't my problem.
Yeah, but Israel's not going to... Israel know they can't beat Iran in a head-up fight, even with their nuclear weapons, If they had to fight Iran mano a mano, Iran would fucking obliterate those small hats off the face of the earth, man. So what are they going to do? That's just why the least of the flock, those Israelis, are going to draw out Babylon the Great, America, into this shit. And we see Trump getting involved in this shit. But like I said, it's beautiful. It's all prophecy anyway.
This is about
good luck, Israel. Best of luck to you.
This is about Israel, and it's all about how Iran can't be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. But we can have a nuclear weapon. Israel can have nuclear weapons. Pakistan can have nuclear weapons. China, North Korea can have nuclear weapons. Russia can have. But somehow Iran is a special case. So here's what he says. They want to have a diplomatic solution, but guess what?
He's given all the signals. He's directly sent letters to the supreme leader. I have been dispatched to deliver that message as well, and I've delivered it. But on the other hand, we have one very, very clear red line, and that is enrichment. We cannot allow even 1% of an enrichment.
You see, but why the fuck is America all the way over there in a whole other country telling Iran what they can enrich and what they cannot enrich, man? You see? Why are you getting involved in situations that don't even involve the West? That doesn't even involve America, man. You see, but that's what this devil does, man. He meddles, he puts his big nose in everybody else's business because he thinks that he's this, the big dog on the block. Well, guess what? All of this meddling in your pride and your hubris and you thinking you can do all these things is going to ultimately lead to you being destroyed, man. So the water Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, all right?
Capability. We've delivered a proposal to the Iranians that we think addresses some of this without disrespecting them. And so that's important. We want to.
And this guy talking, he just sounds like he's full of shit and that he's lying, man. He knows that he's lying. He knows that what he's saying is full of shit. He knows that it's all what those words are smoother than oil, but war is in their heart, man. And this is what the devil does. He'll come on national television and lie right through his teeth with a straight face, man.
We want to get to a solution here.
And no, they don't. The solution they want is war, is blood. Remember, like I just read in Psalms 55. This is what Esau does, man. This is what is on display. All right? And guess what? Then they're going to get this war. And guess what? They're going to get this war with Yahweh Shai and the holy angels pretty soon, man.
And we think that we will be able to. But everything begins from our standpoint, John, with a deal that does not include enrichment. We cannot have that because enrichment enables weaponization, and we will not allow a bomb to get here.
You know something I love almost as much as I love America is a great deal. Also novelty.
So that
You will.
Yeah.
They have bombs they're going to send there, and there's nothing you can do about them, stupid.
So that is what's called a lie. So they're pretending that they want to negotiate a settlement, but they know that's a non-starter. They know that Iran will never agree to that because they had an enrichment program going under the Barack Obama administration where they had lots of inspectors that would come in and make sure they're not using it to build a nuclear bomb. So they don't want to go that route. They just want to say, you don't get to have a nuclear program. Saudi Arabia.
Right, you see how his words are smoother than oil? You see, like I said earlier, during Obama, they know that they weren't enriching that uranium to military grade. They were using it for other things, and that was okay. They were passing all the tests. They had the people coming in, checking everything out, and it was and it was just as they said it would. Now they're saying you can't enrich nothing, which they know the Iranians are not going to just not enrich because they need it for other things, which shows you how much this man is a hypocrite and how much, like I said, all this talk in these negotiations is to force them to war, to force them, to have to to fulfill what these devils were talking about in the beginning of the video, these 7 countries and 7 wars and these countries that they want to take out. This is how they're going to establish it and get this third world war popping, man. See,
to have a nuclear program. North Korea, Pakistan, China, Russia, Israel, they all get to have nuclear, and of course us. We're the only ones who ever dropped it. And Michael Tracy says, if anyone suspected that the purpose of this negotiating exercise was to set up an impossible endpoint,
you see how these devils, like, they literally tell you exactly what it is, as if this is not the case. Well, we're not trying to do that. Well, yes, you are, you goddamn liars. That's why this man is the devil, man. What does the devil mean? A deceiver. This man is a manipulator. Like I said, his words sound good, but really it's war, man. This is crazy, man. You just listen to these devils talk, man, how full of shit they are.
Iranian capitulation, and then when Iran balks, which they're going to, use that as the pretext to bomb Iran. We tried to negotiate first. There's growing evidence that your suspicion is correct, that this is all a pretext. Just like October 7th, that Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu funded Hamas, and then allowed them to do that attack on October 7th, withheld their military so they could use that as a pretext to go in and do what they always wanted, which was to wipe out the Palestinians in Gaza, flatten it, and take it over, which is what they're doing. Same thing is happening here. That's exactly so they're setting a precondition that they know Iran will never agree to. And so then they could use that, just as he said, hey, we tried to negotiate. And so that's what's happening right here. So, hey, good news. The Iran war is back on.
Boom. Let me get this last precept and I'm going to get out of here. Hey, man, the Lord is working. And we see right through this damn devil, man. All right, this is Joel chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near and let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Right. And when this war really starts popping off, hey, Iran is going to get those nuclear weapons, whether it's from Russia, China, or from one of his allies. Hey, when it's when it's about that time, man. You see, they're already putting a lot of money in a lot of money in their GDP into their militaries, because these nations know eventually that a war is going to pop off, man. These BRICS nations know that America is not going to just willingly let them just take over and establish themselves as a superpower above Babylon. They're going to be willing to go to war before they let that happen. And hey, we're all for it. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh Shaphat over there in the Middle East. Like I said, the least of their flock and what's going on with that Jeremiah 49 chapter is going to lead to this. It says, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get ye down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is near upon the valley of decision. See? And that's what this whole situation is leading to. That's why it says, hey, the Iran war is on, which is going to lead what? To all these, to this third world war. And it's inevitable. All right. And we're just going to sit back and watch these things unfold. But, you know, hey, the Lord is making these things move, man. So, hey, with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Until the next one, shalom.